We can now project New Jersey governor. CBS News projection, Mikie Sherrill, the Democratic nominee, the projected winner over Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican nominee, three-time candidate for governor in New Jersey. Now it appears, according to our projection, Jack Ciattarelli will lose for the third consecutive time seeking the governorship. Mikie Sherrill, member of Congress, has won the New Jersey governor's race, according to CBS News projections. I want to go to CBS News Elections and Surveys Director Anthony Salvanto, who explains how we got there. Anthony.
Hey there, Major. Here's how we do it. I always say these calls are about patterns. Well, I'm going to show you some patterns, okay? In county after county, Mikie Sherrill is hitting, or in some cases even exceeding, the targets that a Democrat would need to hit, right? So I'm going to show you a couple. One of them is Bergen. A lot of people would watch that. I'm going to show you past races, for example, the president's race, right? She exceeded Kamala Harris's percentage there. I'm going to show you, a lot of people were watching a couple of these other counties in northern New Jersey, Passaic. Very closely watched, right? Right now, in percentage terms anyway, she is exceeding what Kamala Harris got because Donald Trump had flipped that county. So in place after place, and I'll show you this, Morris County, right? Again, another county that Donald Trump had flipped for the Republicans in the 2024 election, but here, Mikie Sherrill right now doing better than that. So you compare county after county, you get those patterns together. Also, a very strong showing in the early vote, I would add, for Mikie Sherrill, and that's going to add up to a win, and that's why I can call it, Major.
And Anthony, if you can, show us that range model you showed us a little while ago and how it differs now, which led to the call of projecting Mikie Sherrill as the winner?
You're going to see, okay, you're going to see this. For viewers will perhaps remember a few moments ago, not long ago, when I showed you this range and I showed you that there was an overlap between the Sherrill range in blue and the red Ciattarelli range here, okay? What you see here is there's no more overlap. Okay, which is to say that the lowest that Sherrill can go in that estimate is still higher than the Ciattarelli. Again, sort of showing our work. That's what we do at the data desk. That's how we model all of this. And when those ranges separate, that means that Sherrill's range is going to exceed Ciattarelli's, and that's the call.
And that's how we do it. And I love, Anthony, every time you explain and show how we get from one place to another. We want to share that with you and the audience as we make those decisions and why we make them. CBS News congressional correspondent Huey-Burns at the exit poll big board. What do we know about New Jersey, and what did the exit polls tell us about this result we just projected?
Yeah, and part of the exit polls is also, as we're explaining the vote to viewers, we're trying to also explain how voters got here, what they were caring about when they cast their ballots, not only today, but early voting as well. We've been talking about all night how the economy, affordability has been such a big issue across all of these races we're covering, especially so in New Jersey. Take a look at this. Among those who say that they're falling behind financially and that was a big issue for them, Sherrill is leading among that group. In New Jersey specifically, the candidates were talking specifically about how high energy prices were. It shows that politics is national, but it's also local. State taxes were also high. So this group, falling behind financially, Sherrill is leading among them. Also, take a look at this, Major. Non-white voters. She's getting 74% of non-white voters. That's fueling her lead. In New Jersey specifically, we were watching the Latino vote. Remember, in the last election, Donald Trump made serious gains among Latino voters. There's a significant Latino population in New Jersey. Sherrill is leading Ciattarelli among Latino voters 2-1. By comparison, Biden won just 51% of Latino voters in the last election. So she is making gains there. We're also seeing leads among independent voters and suburban voters. I also want to show this graph. We've been talking all night, too, about how much is this a referendum against Trump. Sherrill was trying very closely to tie Ciattarelli to Donald Trump in New Jersey. And we're seeing here that half of voters say that their vote today in New Jersey was, Trump had something to do with it, with most of that half saying that they were doing so to oppose Trump. 46% saying not a big factor here. So New Jersey is a blue state. Kamala Harris won it last time. They have currently a Democratic governor, and it looks like they're headed for a repeat there.
Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much. Jericka Duncan is in New Jersey at Republican Jack Ciattarelli's campaign headquarters. Jericka.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear the breakdown as to why, because anecdotally, when you talk to voters at the polls, you hear a little bit of what Caitlin just talked about in reference to national politics and then local politics. But the mood right here, people are skeptical. They don't want to say just yet that this race is not that of their candidates. I do see people looking at their phones. One woman, I thought she was trying to take a picture, and I looked and I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "We're not winning." So she was looking at her phone. This was about 30, 40 minutes ago, and seeing all that blue and some of the early projections. No one has come up to me or said anything. Folks are still sort of partying and drinking and whatnot. We haven't seen any sign of the Republican candidate, Jack Ciattarelli. I have not heard from anyone inside his campaign. But what I can tell you is that on X, Mikie Sherrill posted, "It is the honor of my life to earn your trust to become the great state's 57th governor. I promise to listen, lead with courage, and never forget who I serve." Her motto throughout this thing was, "Let's land this thing," and that's exactly what it seems she has been able to do in the state of New Jersey. Major?
4 years ago, Jack Ciattarelli came within 3 percentage points of incumbent Democratic Governor Phil Murphy. That may prove to be his high watermark in statewide politics in New Jersey. Jericka Duncan, thank you so very much.